Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a presentation, but it's only one slide. I'll get to that. First, I would like to thank on behalf of Nestlé the CEO Water Mandate for that opportunity to speak and contribute to the conference. And I am personally really thrilled to come to this fascinating country and speak in front of such a distinguished and engaged audience. Thank you for that as well. So we had an introductory session on the Post-2015 development agenda by Jose, and the opening remarks from Aloka from HSBC, which I found quite interesting because there are some synergies. And before going further into the specifics of how the private sector could contribute to that debate and help in meeting water targets, let me give you a little bit of background on Nestlé's particular involvement in these development agenda discussions. As presented by Jose from UNICEF, in July last year, the UN Secretary General launched a high-level panel of about 30 eminent persons to provide guidance and recommendation on the post-2015 development agenda. The panel includes two representatives of the private sector, one of them being Paul Polman, CEO of Unilever. Nestlé's chairman, Peter Brabeck, was invited by Paul Polman to act as a water ambassador. Mr. Brabeck initiated an informal discussion, or consultation, should I say, around 5 questions to collect the views and ideas from the private sector on how it could contribute to establish and help meeting water targets. The consultation aims at feeding the broader post-2015 development agenda process. The consultation is still ongoing. We're still collecting answers via email or via Mr. Brabeck's Water Challenge blog, and you can find here the URL. You are most welcome to visit the blog, look through the questions and comments that have been submitted so far, and submit your own comments. And while the consultation is not finalized yet, we can still build upon some of the feedback that we've received so far and provide insights for this afternoon's discussions. So the first key question is, beyond 2015, should we even have a water-related goal? So what seems to come out of the consultation is that at a minimum, existing water targets should be strengthened and clarified, meaning that the pre-2015 Millennium Development Goals were probably not ambitious enough. But at best, water should be much more than a part of a broader goal, as it is currently the case with the current Environmental Sustainability Millennium Development Goal. In order to reflect in the development agenda the importance of water in society, recognized as a human right, water should have its individual standalone goal defined as water security. In that context, 4 water targets could be identified so far. The first one, universal access to safe drinking water by 2025. Second, eradication of open defecation by 2020 and universal access to improved sanitation before 2050. The third is fresh water withdrawals brought back in balance with sustainable supply in the main watershed by 2030. And this must be achieved through cost-effective and comprehensive approach which combines both supply and demand by increasing the efficiency of water use, increasing water productivity, that is more crop per drop, and managing wastewater as a reusable resource. And the fourth target is adequate treatment of all municipal and industrial wastewater prior to discharge, achieved by 2030. So it brings us to the central question of this afternoon. What would be the role of business in supporting the achievement of post-2015 water goals? And we can identify 3 key areas of action. First one, businesses must keep their house in order through robust corporate water management programs. They must account for their water use, identify and manage their impacts, and report progress within and beyond their operations. They must withdraw fresh water sustainably and ensure their wastewater is treated to adequate levels. And businesses should also engage with the communities in which they operate and encourage suppliers to launch water stewardship programs as well. That being said, the role of businesses should not be limited to their operations and supply chains. It should go well beyond that, and that brings us to the second key area. Businesses must drive sustainable solutions at scale by linking development goals with their core business interests. This will trigger the development and implementation of inclusive business models which provide sustainable products and services and, in the end, livelihood opportunities to low-income communities. This, in turn, creates jobs and economic growth, which we all know are crucial to achieve development goals. Finally, the last key area is financing, and which is a topic already touched upon by Aloka again. Delivering these goals requires significant global spending to expand and maintain water infrastructure. The 2030 Water Resources Group estimated at roughly $20 trillion by 2030 to close the water gap. This is significant, and the order of magnitude requires the involvement of the private sector to provide commercial finance, especially at a time where many countries are facing budgetary problems. Businesses can also bring the technical and managerial expertise which is required to ensure efficiency of these investments. So having said that, it is clear that the businesses have a fundamental role to play, but they cannot and must not solve it all on their own. Collaboration and partnerships with governments and civil society are essential. In that context, governments have a particular role to play, and this is unfortunate that they're not in the room today. They must provide strong leadership, set the strategy, ensure acceptance by the different stakeholders on local, watershed and national levels, and ensure accountability towards political commitments. In relation to the private sector in particular, governments must provide the general and regulatory framework and set the incentives that will foster cost-effective solutions and good water management practices. Indeed, an effective business environment depends on robust legal and governance frameworks, thus providing a stable and predictable environment for businesses to operate confidently and deliver their full potential in supporting the achievement of the development goals. I wanted to finish with a noticeable and concrete example of a platform that creates public-private partnerships that bring all these elements together. It's the 2030 Water Resources Group. It was initiated in 2009 with a report analyzing the water situation and defining a strategy. The first pilot project started in 2010, and now it is established as a formal structure with headquarters in IFC, Washington. So let me briefly outline how the group works. On the demand of a government, the group helps setting up a local business council or multi-stakeholder group that will accompany the entire process. Then the government sets the strategy through a local political and multi-stakeholder process. On the basis of a cost curve at watershed level, the group proposes a catalogue of good practices which the government can choose from. The cost curve ensures that the most cost-effective and relevant options are selected. Then the strategy is implemented according to the priorities set by the government through a process which is driven locally with the support of the group in the form of networks of suppliers and advisors, and where companies get involved within their area of responsibility. Finally, the last step is communication around the exercise to further build awareness and increase momentum. To date, the process is ongoing in Jordan and South Africa, and it is now being set up in India and Mongolia. I hope these prepared remarks will provide useful input for the panel discussions to follow, and I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a very enjoyable and fruitful CEO Water Mandate Conference. Thank you.